weekend. This is the day when we get our updates from our CEO, folks. Speaking of our CEO, Melissa Boston Otoye B has been a friend for over 19 years now. And I tell you what, I learn more and am impressed more and more as I get to know her. She's become a mentor, a friend, the visionary of this company. She's a mom, a glam mom, an author, a co-author, and one of the hardest working people that I know, and also one of the smartest and most compassionate folks that I know. See, it's sometimes hard to put intelligence and compassion together, but this is a person that the more I understand about how smart, brilliant, and visionary she is absolutely one of the most humble people to hold all of those skills. So without any further ado, I want to bring on Melissa Boston, Atoyebe. Are you out there?
Wow. I'm out here, Kathy. Thank you so much. Just, oh my goodness. I mean, your introduction just always warms my heart. I just have to throw it back to you. Just appreciate you for all that you do. I mean, Kathy is so gracious, so humble. Our VP of Finance, one of our Emerald directors, just doing so many amazing things for so many people, and how you have helped to lead the charge when we had our issue with our merchant every day, just taking all those calls and processing those credit cards. You are truly our shero, and just appreciate you for all that you do and love you so much. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And good morning to everyone on the line. Oh my goodness, Akana Nation. Good morning, good morning. It is a beautiful Monday morning. I am here in Southern Illinois. I'm actually at the home of my son and my grandchildren here. They actually moved to Sparta not actually last year. So, but I am just so grateful for each and every one of you as I hear each and every one of you calling in, not just from Illinois, but all across the country. Thank you so much. And if you are brand new, I want to just say hello and welcome you to the line. If you are a guest this morning, I want to welcome you as well and say good morning, good morning, good morning. Akana means in the hands of God. Our mission, we believe health, wealth, freedom, and legacy are our birthright. By offering the most life changing products and an innovative business, we empower people to elevate to their full potential. You know, this month we've been celebrating the women of Akana, our diamond leaders, and we are going to continue to celebrate all month long, even into April. So you're going to hear more amazing interviews from these powerhouse women. And I know Bernadine Kirkland is up today, so I cannot wait, Bernadine, for you to share with everyone, and just appreciate you, Kayetta, for all that you're doing. But I do want to mention a few announcements. We had our Sisters in Healing this past weekend. I know the team was there to represent. This weekend coming up, we have a private fundraiser that's happening for teachers. And so we're super excited to honor Enoch Muhammad, who is a part of Hip Hop Detox and all that he's doing to really raise awareness for so many things that they're doing with children. And so it's going to be a very powerful Saturday. Also, too, if you qualified for our trip to Florida, make sure you've gotten your flight details into us, because that trip is happening from May 15th to the 18th. You can send those details to support@akana.com. Our certification, we're actually pushing that to March 31st, so that will happen next Monday. So make sure, if you are a certified wellness coach, or perhaps you have qualified to attend because you purchased our Diamond Coach Pack, or perhaps you've done the full pack that actually includes the scan as well, that course will start Monday at 6 p.m. next week. So we're super excited about that. Also, too, just want to say, I woke up this morning with just so much gratitude, so much gratitude, so much reflection. Just want to thank each and every one of you. I don't want to call out too many names because I'm still checking texts. I'm still checking voicemails, and oh my goodness, I know there's still a few cards I still have to open, but I want to just thank you all for your calls, for your prayers, for your support, for your texts, for your cards, for your flowers, for everything you've done, even if it's just to think about me and my family in this moment of grief, and also celebration, because we did celebrate my grandpa on Saturday, because not only was it his homegoing, but it was his birthday, his heavenly birthday, 97 years young. It was really beautiful too, because there was this resolution that was done on behalf of Akana, and it really touched my family. In fact, one on behalf of Akana and Soul Massage. And so I really want to thank all of you for making that happen. I know Cherie, Robert, and Iola came to deliver that resolution to us, and that was just so special. And Tracy Bolton helped to create and prepare that resolution. But I will tell a quick little story this morning, because it's always amazing how we are so much closer than we think. They say that, you used to say with degrees of separation, it just keeps getting closer and closer and closer. And so my family has roots in many parts of the country. I know on my grandfather's side, it really began in Louisiana, but many of them also have expanded, whether it's California, whether it's South Bend, Indiana. And my grandfather's sister, Bessie, actually, sang at the services. And so after she sang, Cherie heard that she's from South Bend, Indiana. So of course her antenna went up. She's like, "Oh my God, Melissa, you have family in South Bend, Indiana?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." In fact, one of my grandfather's other sisters, Lily, also lived there, but she's since passed. But Bessie is still alive and had a chance to sing. And after it was all over, we had a chance to make that connection. And guess what? Bessie looked at Cherie and actually knew her. She's like, "Wait a minute, I know you. We were in the choir last week together." And Cherie was like, "Oh my goodness." So they were actually at the same church in South Bend, Indiana, the week before my grandfather's homegoing. I mean, isn't this a small world? And so Bessie's now is so plugged in. She's excited because she's going to come with Cherie from South Bend to Chicago to the Wellness Center. And it's amazing how God works, because one of my biggest heartbreaks was not being able to get my grandfather there. He really wanted to be there in October, but the cancer had spread to the bones, and that just wasn't to be. But to have the blessing of that connection, and now, one of his sisters, who of course means the world to my grandfather and to the family, to now kind of see the vision of coming to Chicago because, again, of that 6 degrees of separation. Right? I mean, it just really warmed my spirit, because I said, it's amazing how God works, and there's no accidents. Things happen for a purpose and a reason. In fact, the crew that came had a chance to see up close and personal the very projects in which I grew up. In fact, the very project, the place I grew up, our family church, my grandparents are buried side by side. So there's this beautiful joint tomb. And it's just amazing how God works and how God moves. And just a beautiful service. Just a beautiful service overrunning with love and just family and just the energy that my grandparents embodied, because you really can't say grandpa without saying grandma. And that message was common throughout the service, because they were always together. And now even in death, they are reunited. And it's just amazing how their souls live on, and they live on forever. And now they are buried side by side. And, it's a beautiful, beautiful story of 73 years of marriage and just what they poured into our family. And the reason why I can be here today so strong is because of the strength they instilled in me. In fact, the theme of the service was "No pain, no gain," because that was one of grandfather's most favorite sayings: "No pain, no gain." Okay. And so again, just thank you to everyone, and just know that my heart is just so full right now. And I hear and I've seen, and I've just so much that I've seen that you guys have done to just really support my family in this time, to support me in this time. Again, it just totally warms my soul. Okay. And so I also want to talk about how last month, with the double CV, we actually ended up paying out an extra $5,000, okay, in commissions. And many of you were the recipients of that extra money, okay? And that was so exciting to do that, to see checks paid out last month with multiple commas in them. That is what it's about right now. We really want to help, with all the uncertainty of the economy, to really ensure that this is a solution. And we know that last month, we lost more than 14 days of real-time credit card processing. I mean, 14 days. But here's what's amazing, and again, how God moves, because over this weekend, you guys showed up, you guys showed out. That 22% special, which was in honor of my grandfather because his birthday was Saturday, the 22nd. And I'm telling you, it was extraordinary because do you know that not only did we lose or we make up for lost time, okay, but we have extended that special just through midnight. Once midnight happens, the special will convert over to 15% for the remainder of the month. So there still will be something a little higher than it was when it was at 10. So through midnight tonight, it will be 22% off. Okay, but here's what's really extraordinary. Do you know that before midnight comes, because we're just a sneeze away from passing up what we did in January. Okay, so again, with 14 days of no online credit card processing. Of course, we had Kathy doing what she could do, and she texted me the very saying in which she's I wish I had it up because I would have loved to read it, of how she was just working so hard to get these credit cards processed. But do you know we're going to surpass January, which is so exciting, and we're on our way to crushing February as well. And so that just tells you that we are in a season and there's going to be some supernatural, amazing things happening. And I am so happy that each and every one of you have remained here so steadfast and decided to make this, the place in which you decide to, go ahead and let's go ahead and make history together. Okay. And so also too, the 22% being extended tonight gives you an opportunity for anyone who wanted to get a CBD order in that you have to do through Kathy, through the customer service, but you can do the pain cream, the topical relief, as well as hemp powered hair still on our website. So those are all available on the website. Our CBD merchant provider will be up and running real soon. And remember, you're going to have two websites, but both of them feed to the same back office. Commissions run the same. So it really is the same experience, other than Wakana.com will house all of our health and wellness, and then our Wakana will house our CBD products. Okay. And so, so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out the way because we have a very special interview today. And so I am happy to bring you up Kayada Cooks. This is someone who's had so many decades of helping to serve in our faith-based community to really ensure, she could be there as the catalyst to make things happen. She's got that financial background experience too. And we are just so blessed to have her here now helping us to lead the charge, really getting out a lot of the emails and a lot of the communication. So Kayada Cooks, if you're on the line, I know you are going to be introducing our powerhouse, Bernadine Kirkland.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Our awesome and amazing CEO, Melissa Boston. Yes, I am here and I am so super fired up and excited. And in the spirit of your grandfather, we're going to bring the no pain, no gain this morning. So I'm so excited. With that being said, I am so honored to introduce our next guest, our next interview. This is my AB sister, right? My blood sister, right? She is the leader of the Blessed Branches. She's a devoted woman of God, a devoted wife, a double entrepreneur. I want to bring up the awesome and amazing Diamond Bernadine Kirkland. Are you there?
Praise the Lord, everybody. Yes, ma'am, I am here.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. So I know that we interviewed the amazing Beverly Blair and the amazing Gigi Harris. And my takeaway from them was they truly are the heart of a champion. So with you, I wanted to bring out something slightly different, and your interview was absolutely amazing. I know we have limited amount of time, so we're going to dive right into it. But I wanted to say you are one of the most sound fundamentalists in Akana. Every time I talk to you, it is the same thing, the same way, and I'm so impressed with you. So today what I want to bring out is the fundamentals of Akana through your journey. So we started off with who Bernadine is or who she was prior to Diamond. And you shared with me you were born in Boston, Massachusetts. And I love the way you said, I love the Lord all my life. I love the Lord all my life. You shared that you were raised in a two-parent home and you love to travel, sing, and eat. And in fact, you had an impressive resume at an early age with your singing career. You shared that you sang with a few organizations and you traveled all around the world. Can you quickly share with us that experience and the relationships that you developed within those experiences?
Absolutely. But first, I just want to say I just love you, my AV sister. And our interview was truly humbling for me. You know, God showed me your heart, and you're definitely a diamond with stars in the making. It was just a matter. It's just a matter of time. Because you are an incredible, precious AV sister. So in the beginning, as you said, a child of God, I love Jesus, and I can recall conversations with God. You know, if you're old enough to remember that book, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, then you'll recognize how I start my conversations with God, even when I was 8 years old in my own closet. I remember being there and saying, I know you're there, God. It's me, Bernadine. And that, to me, but that was what I was saying when I was 8 years old. And I remember because it was 1970 when that book came out, and it was probably 70, 71, and I was 8 years old. And so I've been a lifelong believer and lover of the Lord, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And I'm a daughter. I'm blessed with my 83-year-old mom still here. And she's feisty and she's a go-getter. Her man is like 10 years her junior. So I said, go Queen Mama. They truly love one another. And it's great for us to see, someone 80 years old and still living life fully. She actually came on the Akana cruise to the Bahamas with us, with her honey. So we had a great time. My friends that I met back when I was singing, starting at age 14, are people that are still in my life and people that have joined me on this Akana journey. And, some of my best friends are 40-year and 30-year relationships, from singing in All City Chorus in Boston to the Columbus Singers of Harvard and Radcliffe.
Wow. I noticed that you understood the power and the importance of building meaningful relationships at an early age. In fact, what you actually said was, I was able to marry my family, my friends, my loved ones to Akana through that experience. And I thought that was so powerful.
Yeah, because sadly, I lost my father at age 52, and I was Daddy's little girl, but he died of an aneurysm, which makes what we do at Akana and in wellness as wellness coaches and wellness enthusiasts all the more personal and extremely important to me.
Absolutely. And speaking of your grandfather and legacy and that sort of thing, I can't help but to bring out the legacy, the loins from which you come from, as I touch on your lineage. First of all, your upline is the awesome and amazing Michelle Stewart, which was recruited by the awesome and amazing Gigi Harris, which was recruited by the awesome and amazing CEO Melissa Boston. And it's so amazing to hear your answers and see their DNA in you. And so with that being said, I want to talk about how you came to Akana. You have a very unique story about your entrepreneurial experience with a company called Ethnic Expressions. Can you share with us? Yeah.
Yeah, EE, or Ethnic Expressions, is a Black-owned art company that I've been with since 1998, as my grandma would say. And so I've been selling Black art across the country since 98, and built a unit directorship team in that company and won 16 free trips. And during the pandemic, I introduced them to the power of Zoom. And when Brian Johnson, who's the CEO, he is an incredible, prolific storyteller, but when he wrote or put together a presentation that we were able to easily bite-size and put out there, I was able to share that with Denise Hill. She's a Ruby rock star on our team, and Terrence Hill out of New York. But I was able to do these presentations online. And while we were doing these presentations online, I had a party, and Michelle Stewart was a guest on the party. And it was in November, and we were celebrating Girls and Pearls with Kamala Harris, winning the VP-ship. And I did a tea. It was a tea party over Zoom, so it was like 11 to 12. And Michelle was one of the guests, and she was talking about this CBD. And I said no to the C, the B, and the D because I don't smoke, I don't get high, and I'm never going to jail. So that was a no, no, and more no for me. I had a past where, I used to indulge, but I was like, nope, I don't do that anymore. So no, no, no. But I was invited to an amazing Women's History program over Zoom, celebrating phenomenal Black women. And I'm going to tell you what kicked me over the edge and said, yes, I want to lock arms with this amazing company called Wakana. I saw 4 incredible Black sisters, beautiful, intelligent, just like Kathy said this morning, just humble and just the empathy that they have for other people. Man, I said yes to that. And then the middle of March, I joined Akana and got together all of those friends that I was telling you about on a Zoom, and 8 of them decided they wanted the top dispensary like I did. So 8 of my friends bought the $998 dispensary, which meant we only needed to do 2,000 in sales to be a sapphire. And I didn't even know what a sapphire was. And like Mooney says, I was ignorance on fire. I just said, okay, I need 10,000. Bet, let's do this. 8 of my friends got their dispensary, and then we had over 2,000 sales. So we went over 10,000 month 1 in 2 weeks.
Wow. In the first month. So let's back up real quick. I want to catch a lesson here. So Michelle Stewart, you met her on a Zoom that you were doing, and you opened up the floor for other Black businesses to share. So when Michelle shared, your response when you talked to her was no, I'm not interested in CBD.
Yes,
but
ma'am.
Michelle did not accept the no. She accepted the not right now, and she came back later on.
Yep.
What did you hear that was different that time? It was
Yep.
Yeah,
I was going to say that unlearning and relearning. Unlearning that CBD gives you health without the high. And seeing 4 powerhouse women who were doing their thing in a space that is legal. And so seeing that I'm able to connect the legal portion to what Akana is doing with, a 30-plus year OB-GYN, connect with, somebody who was at that time a 3-time currently seated Chicago State Senator and Minister of the Gospel of Jesus Christ, connect with someone who had only been an entrepreneur, only had 2 other jobs. And then with Melissa writing the Proverb Diet, she was stunningly gorgeous, just, her compassion. And I saw Melissa for the first time sweeping the floor at Akana. So I'm like, whether you take this sister to the pool room or the boardroom, she is a bad mama jamma. So I just stepped with it because it all worked. Like they were working synergistically. It seemed to work and fit into my life. And I was so incredibly happy and grateful. I still am and forever will be grateful to Michelle because of what Akana has meant to me, the before, Diamond, and after.
Powerful. You also got very passionate about the 4 pillars, the health, wealth, freedom, and legacy. Why?
Man, because that's everything. That is where it is. When you look at everything that we offer, in health being first and foremost, if you don't have your health, you don't have your wealth, you don't have anything. Health and then wealth, money. I can just tell you one of my top checks from Akana was over $10,000. I mean, I had never gotten a check for over $10,000 for just one calendar month. So it was the sexiest thing for me. And then freedom, I got laid off from my job at 59 years old. Because when you get 60, that's when they're looking to cut the fat. They're looking to cut people that they don't have to pay more insurance for. They're looking for people to cut that they don't have to pay more money for. They can get somebody younger. So it was like ageism and everything else. But I didn't feel badly about being let go because I had Akana.
Wow.
And it gave me time to do my business. And in doing my business with the time factor, I was able to, you know, my team that had grown together so synergistically. You mentioned our name, Blessed Branches, because God says He is the vine and we are the branches from John 15:5. And so my team name was so important to us, and we ran with that. I just love everything about Akana.
Powerful, powerful. So let's go back to when you entered, when you decided to take action and get involved. What I love about what you shared, and this is what I took away from it, Michelle Stewart, the conversation that she had with you was what you needed to know in order to win. And your why at the time was, you said she told you that you needed to have 10,000 in shares of stock, and you said that's what I want. So, in your first,
she told me that if I had 10,000 shares, if I had 10,000 in sales, that would qualify me for the Sapphire pool, and Sapphires were getting shares of stock in the company. So I was like, okay, that's what I want. I didn't know about anything else, but I wanted, whatever would give me shares. Because I wasn't here for the first round of getting shares, founder shares. But when I was able to get them, I was all on board. So I could max out. I could go back and max out on shares.
So speed of the leader, the speed of the team. So once you identified what you wanted, you turned around and got 8 of your friends on a Zoom, and you were so passionate when you said, I did my own Zoom. I did my own Zoom, 2 to 3 Zooms a week. And I was just fired up, right? I did my own Zoom. And you got your friend, not in a month, in the first week, had 8 people come and duplicate what you did. Right? And not just sold them a product, but they came in at the same level you did and then closed 10,000 in sales in the first month.
Yes, ma'am. And a couple of them are still with us. Things happen in people's lives and they go away, they step away for a time and then they come back. But I'm happy to say that, several of those in the first couple of weeks, like Tammy from Boston, you may see her on all the Zooms. She still jumps on all the Zooms, and she just, keeps the pulse. She came to Chicago with me when we met Melissa together. Melissa was sleeping down the stairs, and we were like, wow, her humbleness, she's just beautiful inside out. Everybody needs to get to know a Melissa Boston, and everybody needs a Melissa Boston in their life.
Absolutely. I absolutely love Tammy Boston because you're absolutely right. She's on every Zoom. And not only is she just on the Zoom, her energy is felt. She's in the chat. She's responding. She's encouraging. So I absolutely love that. And I love the fact that you attract winners. So let's get into the run and the team. So at the time, you had a different why. But when it came to the diamond run and I asked you why, your why had changed. Your why had changed for the diamond run. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. With the company Ethnic Expressions, I won 16 free trips. So free trips are sexy to me. It's like you can go on, they say a sandwich is good, but a free sandwich is better. That is the same thing for a trip for me. So a trip for me, that Diamonds in Dubai had my name all over it. I said, you can't dangle a trip in front of this sister without me gunning for it. So with Akana, I've already won 6 free trips and in qualification for Bermuda. But for me, that Diamonds in Dubai, I printed that picture that Melissa put together. I just did a quick screenshot. I printed that picture and I look at it every single day because I got to be a diamond in Dubai. I don't know what this is, but I just got to go. So what are the qualifications? And I locked step with a sister that I've known for over 20 years, Angie Dickerson. Actually, it's 30 years now. My gosh, that I've known since '99. So almost, I don't know, I can't even do the math anymore, but long time. She was on my team in EE, and she was our first Ruby on the Blessed Branches team out of Boston, and she ran with me. So I went from a sapphire, I went straight past Ruby to Emerald.
Wow.
So
Double.
Angie became the Ruby, and I went straight to Emerald. And that was November. And then, rolling right into the Diamonds in Dubai, she was running, Denise Hill was running, and I met a sister at a vending event, and she didn't know she was running. I didn't know she was running, but she is the one, her leg from Joanne Campbell came in, and she did more than I did. Her team did over 20,000 in the month we were running. She blew my mind. And I kind of fault myself that she didn't qualify as a Ruby because she was like maybe 1,000 away, and I didn't have my eyes on it because I was so focused on this diamond run. So I'm still disappointed with myself because, I didn't see everything, but that was an incredible run. I went wide because just in case one of the legs didn't come in at 33,000, I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw everything I can against the wall because something's bound to stick, and I'll be able to use every dollar out of every leg of the individuals, And then when it comes to repeating that, you're going to have to do something, not just going wide, but like they say, you go wide for pride, go deep for depth. I went wide, not just for pride, but I went wide for that trip. And once I got that, then I started working down in the legs because I saw a rock star down, like 6 levels deep. And I started, grinding around down there. But you work in your legs. You work with the willing. That's what I say. You can't make anybody do this business. It's a volunteer army. But if you find somebody who's hungry, you find somebody with a desire burning in their belly like you have, you rock with that person. That's who you run with.
Yes. Wow. Powerful. So you have you're on the run, and you have the strategy, like you said, to go wide and then go deep. I love the way you said the first thing you have to do is to understand what it is that you need to go diamond. Mm-hmm. And you said that you need to know what the like. I knew that if I was strong enough. Oh, I'm sorry. This is where I wanted to go with that. You said that everything and everybody counted. Everything and everybody counted. And I noticed that your goals you keep right in front of you. And by the way, congratulations on this being your 4th year anniversary this month.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And how did you celebrate that this weekend?
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so on Friday, I just put together a party, a Women's History party, just like I was invited into Akana. And I invited friends, invited family, invited customers, and we had representation from Boston, Massachusetts. We had representation from Las Vegas, Nevada, and, of course, down here in Florida. And the aunt that I'd been going to see at the hospital, she's, been in and out over here. And my sister-in-law's here from Boston. We had 2 birthday parties. And, of course, they say, you were doing Akana, weren't you? You were doing Akana, weren't you? But they say, Akana is a part of my life. And I do my business while I do my life. I do my business everywhere I am because Akana is a part of me. And I'm going to do everything in my power like I'm seeing, our superstar, our visionary do. Everything in your power, keep the doors open, keep the lights on, and share with everybody what is happening in our bodies through our products and our amazing company.
In fact, you
2 birthday parties.
In fact, I think you said everyone with blood needs what we have. Everyone with blood needs what we have. That's everyone on the
Amen.
planet. All right, so
Amen.
let's get into some real stuff here. So you are on your run. The month is going good. Everybody's on track. You're fighting. You're in the dog fight. Everybody is head down and they're focused. What did you think you needed for Diamond, and what actually happened when you got down to the final moment? What happened? Can you share with us that?
Sure. My goal was to get there by any means necessary, and the strategy for me was knowing what we had and when was the best time to present it. You know, if you walk into a store and they've got items that are $100, you have to sell a whole bunch of $100 items. But if that store has something that is $2,000, you have to sell less of those. So my thinking was, I'm going to run when I've got the most to offer somebody. I'm going to paint the vision so big, so bright to let them know what it is that's ahead of them and this company's future. You paint that vision for someone, and that is how they bought into purchasing shares in Akana. And I was telling them it is not, an investment, thing, because you are getting more than you're paying with the package that you get. You're paying $2,000, but you're getting, $4,000 in product or in value. So you paint the vision. And once you paint the vision, you let them make the decision to buy in. And that's what they did. And I know if you're selling something for $2,000, you map out how many of those you need. And I was ready. I was ready. And I called Melissa. I was so excited. And I was thinking we needed to do 80,000 because of the way things were set up. And she burst in my bubble talking about it's not 80, it's 100. I know it's always been 100, but I think I misunderstood when she was talking about how the points were calculated. So I was thinking I only needed 80,000, and it was on a Friday night. And on this Friday night, I was at a party, and they were buying these shares like I was giving away Tic Tacs or something. But Joanne Campbell had her friends, like maybe 5 or 6 friends at her house, and all of them bought shares. All of them bought shares. And then the next day she went to her mother's house, and her mother had 4 of her friends there. And her mother, her brother, and 2 other people bought shares. So we did, that's when Joanne did 20,000 in like 3 days. And on the final day on Sunday, because God had already revealed that this was going to be done on Sunday. And I didn't see it on Friday night, knowing I needed at least 20,000 more. I didn't know that I was going to make it, but I had to trust God that we didn't come this far to be left behind. And I just put my head to the grind, man. We were up, we were pulling like all night is trying to get people in, get their shares ordered. And by the time we woke up, we weren't there yet. I think we were at 98,000 when I woke up that morning, that Sunday morning. And it was just in the early afternoon, Patricia Juba out of Boston called me and she said, the Spirit of the Lord had you on my mind this morning. She said, I woke up and I just purchased a share for my husband. That was 2,000. I just dropped to my knees and praised God. So that one share put us over the top. And I was just like, OMG. So that was the trying night. And we still had a few days left in the month because this was on Sunday. And I think the end of the month was like that Wednesday. But it was done.
Oh, my goodness. And in fact, what did you tell your husband?
Oh, that was for the Emerald Run. The Emerald Run, I told him I wasn't coming to bed until I was an Emerald, till I had crossed over that 50,000 mark. And Angie and I stayed up until like 3 o'clock in the morning, but we got it done. And when I got
Wow.
to the bed, I was like, baby, where's that green? I'm an emerald now. He had been away, and it gave me opportunity to run and just be laser focused on my goal. That was running emerald. And then once we did that, I did get to go to bed. It was like 3 or so in the morning.
Wow. Now, you said several times throughout our interview, where two or more are gathered, you said your why has to be big enough. And you said that your philosophy was all boots on the ground, uh, that you should cast your net widely and
hmm
and let God sort them out.
Absolutely.
You
And that
also
was when I was just throwing everything against the wall, because I had a chance to meet with Diamond Willie Mooney when we were in Chicago, and his strategy was very different from mine. His strategy was, only a few people. He was only working with a few at a time, where God had told me to cast my net broadly. So we were doing two different strategies, both work to build a diamond team, but you definitely have to make sure that the people who you're bringing are wanting to duplicate and be duplicated. So, and just want to follow the system, because the system works. It works. I sit down and actually drew out circles on a page and started putting names in it. As we were doing this diamond run, I started putting names in, so I knew where the money. I don't even know where that circle page is, because I've moved to Florida. So if I go back and try to find that, but I actually drew circles, to see how close we were.
wow, and I love the fact that you brought out two diamonds, had two different strategies, and you
hmm
and you both hit the mark. So there's more than one way to skin the cat, but it's about understanding what it is you need to go diamond, and what you have in your hand and what you need to go get, right?
Amen.
Um, that is powerful. So I asked you, and we're getting ready to wrap up, guys. I asked you about your biggest motivation, and you said that I could help someone's life get better, a better quality of life. And you said that you could do that. You were able to expand your business when Akana expanded uh, the quality of life with our wellness products.
hmm
Can,
Yep,
can you talk a
It started with the extreme pain relief, because I've been in service to people all my life. As a teacher, I taught high school. I worked as an executive assistant, and then in the pharmaceutical industry. But it's always been in service and support. So with extreme pain relief, that was my go-to product. And that's what I used. And when we went into wellness, that was when I was able to be of service to my at that time, 79-year-old mother-in-law. And she was going through a sickness, an illness. And knowing what I knew from being an entrepreneur and a certified wellness coach, I was able to plead with God to prick her heart, because she wasn't interested in CBD anything. She was the closest. When I started dating my husband, I told my mother, I called my mom, I said, Mama, I met the closest thing to God walking this earth, and her name is Eula Kirkland. So that was how she is revered to me. But I just asked God to prick her heart to make her receptive. She was sent home from the hospital, like basically on her deathbed. And I asked God to prick her heart so I would be able to juice for her. I would be able to detox her. I spoon fed her for 21 days. For the first week, she was spoon fed. And after that, she was strong enough. God gave her the strength. She is 82. She'll be 83 this year. I just say to God be the glory. There's so much I could say, but she is here today, and I'm just grateful. And it's because of Akana being able to reverse what was happening in her body at that given moment.
Powerful. Thank God for Akana and Melissa Boston and the medical advisory team. All right, daily habits. What are your daily habits?
Daily habit, wake up praising the Lord before my feet hit the ground. I want the devil saying, when my feet hit the ground, I want the devil saying, oh God, she's up. Yes, I am up, and I'm running for him. And no matter where I go, I talk to people. You talk to everybody. And I want you to think about this. You need to be the thermostat, not the thermometer. So you walk in a room, you walk in a space, you create the atmosphere and you get to know what's happening. You listen to people, get to know what's going on. So I don't care if I'm going to the supermarket. I don't care if I'm going to the airport. If I'm talking to you, you're in earshot of me, you're going to know what I do, and I'm going to find out if you know your blood type. So that strategy, that low-hanging fruit, and Dr. Betty and everybody who's been, working tirelessly on putting this together and getting these pluggers and things for us, utilize what we have. I use everything that we have, and I got sick about a week or so ago. I wasn't claiming that sickness, but it was trying to claim me down in my chest. I got my King Chaga, I got my black seed oil, I got everything. I was like throwing the kitchen sink at it. But in my daily routine, I do some of everything that Akana has to show people, share with them, and keep building the nation up.
One of the things you said is you never miss a wake up to Akana call, Diamond Factory call.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, that is in the order of business every day, Monday through Friday. Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
That helps. And when you're sharing Akana, share all of the times that we have these Zooms and these calls, because it makes the load light for you. Mooney used to say, let me do the work and you cash the check. So that is what that is. You bringing people to the Zooms. There are people like yourself dedicated here doing the presentations. Rochelle and Mike Newsom, Dr. Roz, all of us, Kathy Weathersby, all of us doing these presentations. Just bring people. We know we're preaching to the choir when it's just you, so bring company. That's what we need. Bring company.
Absolutely.
And inspiring for me, you were asking? Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dr. Maya Angelou, she has some, if you have other things, because I just want to give some of these quotes because it's been so important in my life. When she says, success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. And another quote of hers is, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And my mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do it with some passion, some compassion, and sense of humor and style. So I leave you with this, my Blessed Branches team, God is the vine, we are the branches. You alone are enough and you lack nothing. You have everything you need to handle your current situation. Cast a vision, give people what they want, and you'll automatically get what you want. Give enough people what they want, and you automatically get what you want.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. And there's so much more in the interview that we just don't have time to share here, but there will be a newsletter that will go out in a little bit that will share everything else that she shared in that interview. Diamond Bernadine Kirkland, my AB sister, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and experiences. Your journey is truly inspiring. And just before we wrap up, is there any final piece of advice that you'd like to share with anyone who is looking to reach the diamond level in Akana?
Like we already said, they need to know their why. They need to know the qualification, the criteria in order to get there. And for every person we touch, we can elevate their well-being, and we can elevate their lifestyle, and know that the power is in your hands. If you are, if I have a basketball in my hand, it's not worth very much. But if that basketball is in Michael Jordan's hand, it's worth millions. If I had a golf ball in my hand, it's not worth very much. But if that golf ball is in Tiger Woods' hand, it's worth millions. So I tell you, Akana Nation, what's in your hand is super powerful. And nobody's going to know if you're not the one that tells them. So you have to be the one that's out there telling them and showing them. Because Akana in my hand is worth millions. And I believe Melissa Boston when she says $1 billion big. I believed her when she told me I could be a diamond with this company. So you have to have a belief, and you have to know what's in your hands.
Wow, powerful. I want to thank you. Thank you, Kind of Nation. I'm going to turn this call back over to the amazing Kathy Weathersby. Thank you so much, Bernadine.
Thank you, Kayette. It's been a pleasure.
Wow, that was so amazing. Goodness gracious, guys. That was a lot of phenomenal information. Bernadine, you're such a powerhouse. I mean, this is exciting how we're going to continue this during the newsletter. I mean, I'm taking notes. I know everyone's taking notes, and we are excited to watch your journey to 5-star and beyond. I mean, and your story of just how you are utilizing this as a catalyst to help bless people's lives. And we can do this for our families too. I'm actually bringing my mom back to Chicago. We're going to put her in the Energy Center, just give her the love and healing she needs after being such a blessing to my grandfather. She was there by his side, just never left his side. And now she needs that love and self-care. So I'm excited how we could utilize the Khan of our family and to really understand we are in the hands of God. So thank you for that. My goodness, guys. Yes.
I'm bringing my mother-in-law here to Florida with us. I'm on the way to Boston tomorrow. And we are bringing her back to give her some sunshine and love up on her. I'm going to juice for her and just, get her back because, she needs it right now. So we're going to be doing the same thing.
Okay, well, I'm going to be in touch with you, so we're going to be sharing tips and strategies, okay? That's beautiful, beautiful. And I have to thank, too, the team. Just, I'm going to give a shout-out, too, for the CV qualifiers. But I know on Friday, I was hearing from, whether it was Kathy Weathersby, Willie Mooney, Bernadine, Kirkland, Tracy Bolton, Gigi Harris. They were all like, you go be with your family. We got this. We got your back. We're going to really show up and show out. And I know Mooney called a play. He said, hey, let's see who can hit CV by Monday. And guess what? We have 4 people that actually hit CV by Monday. And Bernadine, you are one of them. So big shout out to you. So that is awesome. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You're almost at 700 CV already for the month. I'm like, wow. Diana Coleman also hit it. Ernestine Davis is crushing it right now. And Anthony Morris, oh my goodness, he's traveling to Georgia, but I'm telling you, he's bringing this whole cleansing process, having his last supper, as they call them, before they cleanse all across the country. So great job to that as well. So just remember, everyone, 22% off will extend just through midnight tonight, and that is Pacific time zone. After that, it will keep down to 15%. So let's go. I'm going to also be celebrating the double CV qualifiers. So if you hit the double CV, if you were a part of that team that got those extra checks last month, you're going to be celebrated all over Facebook. So thank you for your patience, but we are going to ensure you get the celebration you deserve. At 2:30 p.m. Central, let's remember to save our strands with our trichologist, Doris Mosley. Tomorrow, let's wake up to the Diamond Factory. And remember, our 2025 vision for Akana is clear: health, wealth, freedom, and legacy for every person we touch. Let's move forward together. We are not looking back, and we want each and every one of you to have an Akana day. See you at the top, the very top, the tip top.